pay. Get $9,000 off MSRP on new 24 Ford Super Duties. How about America's best-selling truck, the F-150, on sale for up to $8,700 off MSRP. Employee pricing at Santan Ford means you pay what we pay. Expeditions, Explorers, Broncos are all thousands off MSRP. Shop the madness. Shop the employee pricing in person or online. Santan 202 Freeway in Val Vista and Gilbert or santanford.com. Going on now. Restrictions may apply. See Santan Ford for details.
Feeling uneasy about your financial future? You need a partner that helps lighten the load. Welcome to Global Credit Union. It means early payday, your paycheck up to 3 days early with direct deposit, accounts with no NSF fees, and a mobile app with tools to help you manage your family budget. At Global, we take member care seriously with branches near you and a 24/7 U.S.-based call center staffed by real people. Join us at globalcu.org. Global Credit Union.
When my wife and I got married after both graduating law school, we didn't have 2 nickels to rub together. Ultima had to give me her gas card just to drive home. We never could have imagined that one day we would have the largest injury firm in the world and $25 billion in money collected and counting. As good Catholics, we had 4 children fast. They all work in the firm today. Our family protecting yours. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. But our greatest gift was years away, grandchildren. Today we have 6 and counting. It's the greatest joy that we have ever experienced. I think about them all day long. Our family promises to protect your family should you need us. Call us. It's easy. Visit forthepeople.com and make sure you hug your grandchildren. God's final gift to us. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hey Arizona, Tom Chambers here. I've learned that great teams are built by hard work, ethics, and perseverance. That's exactly what you get with Right Way Roofing. Right Way Roofing is a third-generation roofing company that has built trust in our community through their commitment to excellence. They use the toughest, most durable materials to handle Arizona's extreme weather. Take it from me, Tom Chambers. When it comes to your roof, choose the team that delivers excellence, because there's only one way. The right way.
We're Right Way Roofing and we do it right. We'll always keep you watertight.
Today we celebrate all of our hard work, late nights, and the most craveable Raising Cane's chicken fingers and cane sauce that got you through it. So get out there and commemorate this moment with a grad plush puppy, because you've earned it. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix. It's the lunch break.
I am still trying to figure out what we watched last night. Welcome into the Wednesday edition of the lunch break here on KDUS AM 1060, streaming on the KDUS AM 1060 app, and you can watch the program always on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube and Twitter accounts. Hope everybody, even though the game last night probably still has you ripping your hair out, hope you're having a great start to your Wednesday. Chris Schubert with you for the next 2 hours. We'll get through it together. We'll talk about it together. We will see where this team's going to go from here. Producer Evan is behind the glass. He is taking your phone calls, 480-864-1060 on a day like today. And we have to start with this. We have to talk about it because the Diamondbacks, once again last night, decided that they wanted to add another game to the list of bullpen meltdowns, and that is exactly what happened last night.
Time for our top story of the day. It's the Daily Special.
A complete implosion by Kevin Ginkel and Jalen Beeks in the 8th inning. And I don't truly know where to start with last night's game. Perhaps I could start by telling you that last night was the first time an MLB team that averaged less than 3 runs per game coming into the game came back from a 6-run deficit to win since 1968, when the White Sox trailed 8-1 and rallied for a 12-8 victory. Perhaps that's where I should start. Or I should start with the Pirates, who last night were 0-29 when trailing after 7 innings before coming back in the 8th inning. Perhaps that's where you want me to start. Or maybe I start with 6 of the last 7 games for this Diamondbacks team. In the 6th inning or later, their pitching staff has either blown a lead or have given up the lead in a tie game. Maybe that's where you would like to start. Or maybe we start with just how bad a couple of guys in particular have been. Because Ryan Thompson didn't pitch last night, Kevin Ginkel did. Those two guys combined an 8.7 ERA. The bullpen ERA in total is 5.41. That's 26th in Major League Baseball. Maybe that's where I should start today. Or I start with this. The Diamondbacks, if they are going to continue to run this bullpen out there, if they are going to continue to underperform in this way over and over and over again, then they are an unserious baseball team. Forget the playoffs. Forget being in the wild card mix. Forget all of it. If this is the group that we are going to get every single night, take all of the expectations off the table. In fact, flip the table over in anger because we have to watch this every single night. And we'll talk about this from all of the different angles today. What they can do with the bullpen moving forward. I already know because the morning meeting today got a little heated. Producer Evan is ready to call for a change at the manager. So we'll discuss that probably a couple of times throughout the course of the program. But for me, it starts with this. This bullpen, these guys that are deployed by this franchise are not getting it done. Look up and down the stat sheet. Look at the ERAs. You got Kevin Ginkel, who has an ERA north of 12. You've got guys with 8 ERAs, 6 ERAs, 7 ERAs. They can't get outs. They had a lead in the 8th inning, needing 6 outs to secure a victory. And you know what you just add on top of it is the team that you did it against last night, that you gave away a lead to an offense like the Pittsburgh Pirates, a team that can't score runs, that isn't supposed to be able to do that. And you know what? You made it look easy for them last night. 0-29 the Pirates were entering last night when they trailed after the 7th inning. 0-29. And the Diamondbacks said, hold my beer. Here you go, Pittsburgh, a team that going into last night had 6 road wins all season. An unserious baseball team right now. I have no problem telling the truth. I'm sitting at home, watching the game last night. They take a 6-0 lead. I started making dinner. I walked away. Started getting things ready to make dinner for the family, coming back from practice. So I was keeping it close on my phone, but I was getting that stuff ready for the family. Because 6-0, Corbin Burns on the mound, Pittsburgh Pirates, they can't score runs. You're supposed to coast. It's supposed to be back-to-back days where you coast to victories. 2 wins in a row. You're doing what you're supposed to do against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Now we get to watch Zach Gallen and Paul Skeens go at it, and then some afternoon baseball with a chance for a sweep. That's what we were supposed to be doing to open the show today. And instead, we are talking once again. We're up to 9 games on the list now of complete bullpen meltdowns. That was a meltdown last night. That isn't just a blown lead. That is a complete and utter meltdown. To have a 6-2 lead, needing 5 outs to secure a victory against the Pittsburgh Pirates. And you couldn't get the 5 outs. And we can debate Torrey keeping Ginkel in there, but you know what? Jalen Beeks came in and he gave up a home run. So I'm not sure it would have mattered last night. I'm not sure you could have had Trevor Hoffman come out of that bullpen with the gates swinging wide open. And I don't know if he would have been able to get the outs last night. It didn't matter. This team is broken right now. This bullpen is broken right now, and they are running the risk. It is no longer early. We are past Memorial Day. This team is running the major risk of watching their season go down in flames right in front of their faces. You cannot lose that game last night. You cannot blow a 4-run lead when you need 5 outs. You can't do it. You can't have that start from Corbin Burns and blow it. You have to win starts when Corbin Burns is on the mound. You have to win games against the Pittsburgh Pirates. You cannot give that game away. You want one game that summarizes why this team is 27-28, why we're scrambling to figure out if this team is going to be in a playoff race in August and September? Last night's game is the prime example, Exhibit A, that I would present to the jury as to why the Arizona Diamondbacks are struggling this season. You cannot lose that game last night. It is unacceptable. I cannot take this team seriously. And so you know what? I'm putting it off the table right now. We cannot talk about this team as a playoff team. We can't talk about this team in a wild card race. You can't. They have a bullpen that just gives away games. They gave that game away last night. And it doesn't matter. Last night it was Kevin Ginkel. It's been Shelby Miller. It's been Justin Martinez. It's been Ryan Thompson. It's been everybody. Every single person out there in that bullpen right now has given up a lead at some point. They are just watching their season go down in flames. Right down the tubes. And you know what? You now have to face Paul Skeens today. You run a very serious risk. Game gets started in about 90 minutes from now. You run a serious risk of losing a series at home to the Pittsburgh Pirates. What does that say about who you are as a franchise? What does that say about where you're at in your season? We got to execute better. Kevin Ginkel has been a trusted, reliable reliever in the past. He is not that guy this year. Ryan Thompson has been a trusted, reliable member of bullpens in the past, not this year. Shelby Miller wasn't supposed to be thrusted into a high leverage role. Here he is. He hasn't pitched in 8 days. Don't know what's going on there. Justin Martinez was injured. Gave up a lead over the weekend in his first game back. Looked better the other night. But it's a mixed bag right now. And most of it isn't very good. You cannot continue to trot out this bullpen every single night and expect it to get better. And you can't expect all of us to sit back, link arms with you, cross our fingers and toes, wish upon a lucky star that it's going to get better with you. You can't expect that at this point. You just can't keep swinging the door open and trotting these guys out there and thinking that it's going to get better. Now, we'll get to this a little bit later on of what they can actually do, because unfortunately, there's not a lot of great options. That's another part of why this is so frustrating, is there's not a one-size-fits-all magic answer here to fixing all of this. But the Diamondbacks are an unserious team right now, because I can't take them seriously in the National League power structure. Can I put them on the same plane as the Dodgers, as the Padres, as the Giants, as the Cubs, the Mets, the Phillies, the Braves who are getting hot? Can we seriously put this team in that conversation when they are giving games away at the clip that they are? The list is up to what, 9 games now, Producer Evan? We've got 9 games on the meltdown list.
9 games.
9 games on our bullpen meltdown list. 9 games. The Diamondbacks have lost 9 games already this season in which they've scored 6 runs or more. That can't happen. You can't do it.
Nope.
You have to find a way to win that game last night. And oh, by the way, it took me 15 minutes to get to this. The Pirates set down the last 17 Diamondbacks batters that came up in that game. So your offense went quiet after you scored the first 6. Couldn't rally. You look back potentially at series like this, if a season goes south, if a season misses the mark, you circle series like this. We better see a bounce-back effort today. They better not feel sorry for themselves for the way that game transpired last night. You got to go out there and you got to take it to Paul Skeens. Unfortunately, that's a tough task. My guy's going out there against the Phillies lineup last time out, goes 8 innings, allows 1 run, and loses. That's how bad the Pirates offense is. Paul Skeens last time out When
a pitcher making his first ever start in the majors.
8 innings, 1 run, they lost the game. That's the team that you allowed to score 7 runs in the 8th inning to beat you 9-6.
I want to go over. So 9 games on the list, Chris. Let's say we flip 6 of them. I think that's a fair number.
Sure.
6 of them. That would make the Diamondbacks 33-22, which would put them just a game behind the Dodgers.
There's your season. There it is. Right there on paper. There's your season. You want to understand why we're talking about a team that's below 500, why we're talking about a team that still feels like they're stuck, not able to get the engine into the first and second gear to get this car moving down the street? This is why. Your offense can be great. Your offense can score 6 runs. If your bullpen cannot hold on to a 4-run lead, not a 1-run lead, I wouldn't be this angry if it was a 1-run lead. I'm not as angry. I'm more angry about last night than I was about Justin Martinez giving away a game in which it was 5-4. That's a 1-run lead. Those are going to happen, right? You don't like to see them happen. It's a growing trend for this team. But okay, that's going to happen over the course of 162. That's not supposed to happen. Kevin Ginkel was supposed to be a part of a 3-headed monster with A.J. Puck and Justin Martinez that was supposed to just be lights out, 7th inning on. And Kevin Ginkel last night at the center of it all. And we'll talk about should he have stayed in there after he faced the 3 batters. And we'll get to all of that over the course of the program. And we obviously want to hear from you. 480-864-1060 or over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. But this is where I want to start today. The Diamondbacks are an unserious franchise right now. And I say that because if they are going to continue to run out these same guys and not make a change somewhere, guys have options. Kevin Ginkel's got minor league options. Ryan Thompson has minor league options. If they are not going to try something, then they are unserious in their stated goals of being a playoff team. You've got the highest payroll in the history of your franchise. You can't waste it. If you waste it and miss the playoffs, you are never going to see a payroll that high for a really long time. Unserious is the word I would use right now to describe this team with the state of their bullpen. And if they don't make wholesale changes here in the coming days, unserious. Let's towel off. Let's take a timeout. Let's reset here. I can't yell about the Diamondbacks for 2 hours straight. You'll need to take me to an urgent care if we do that. So let's talk some basketball on the other side. Because we've talked a lot about Kevin Durant moving to Texas. Did we perhaps have the wrong team in mind? That's next. The lunch break. KDUS AM 1060.
Attention all clones. The Jim Rome Show is here for you every day here on KDUS AM 1060.
Lots to get done. Welcome to the program.
Listen in as Rome dives into the biggest sports headlines of the day. From final scores, player contracts and trades, team prospects, and even a spicy take or two. The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. every weekday here on KDUS AM 1060.
That's the trick.
Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why. It's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. T&Cs apply. Available in app only.
Ghost World Tour 2025. Ghost Theatrical Heavy Metal Arena Rock. August 11th, Footprint Center. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Don't miss Ghost.
A noisy garage door is a cry for help that often requires only simple maintenance. However, if left untreated, could lead to costly repairs. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello from A1 Garage Door Service. Don't wait until a simple garage door repair becomes a major problem. If your garage door is noisy, if bugs are getting in, or if it struggles to open, your garage door is in need of repair. From simple repairs to upgrades, it's A1 from day one. We fix garage doors fast and with quality parts designed to last a lifetime. Our springs, rollers, and openers are tested by running them up and down, open and closed all day, 24/7, so you can feel confident with every A1 garage door repair. Replacing the bottom rubber on your garage door can have a huge impact on the number of bugs you see in your garage and in your home. Keep those creepy crawlers outside by calling A1 Garage Door Service today and receive the best service, best parts, and best warranty in the industry.
A1Garage.com. A1 from day one.
Call today and take advantage of our $29.95 tune-up special.
Jim Rome here with your Rome Report. Another wild night in the association as the OKC Thunder bounce back from that Game 3 beatdown. Minnesota put on them to grind out a tough Game 4 win and take a commanding 3-1 series lead. Minnesota isn't beating the best team in the league 3 straight times. And while I'm not going to put this all on Anthony Edwards, when you're a generational talent, face of the franchise, and potential future face of the league, and you only get up 13 shots for the second time in the series in a loss, all eyes on you, Ant-Man. What they needed was for you to put them on your back and send this thing back to OKC, tied up at 2 games apiece. If you want to be that guy, then be that guy. Do what generational talents do. Impose your will, take over that game, and choke OKC out in your own crib. Because that's exactly what the league MVP, SGA, will be looking to do to you tomorrow night. I'm Jim Rome. Remember, you can follow me on the X platform at Jim Rome. The basketball playoffs are here on Prize Picks, the best place to cash in on the action. The app is so simple to use. Just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 2,000 times your cash. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use the code ROME. Get $50 in bonus promo funds instantly when you play $5. That's code ROME on Prize Picks to get $50 in bonus promo funds instantly when you play $5. Win or lose, you'll get the $50 bonus credit just for playing. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks. Run your game. You do have to be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
O'Reilly.
Check engine, ABS, or maintenance light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. The service is free and provides a report with solutions verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we could recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Ready to tackle each morning with the best sports information coming at you?
I'm going to take a logical approach.
Get that weekday mornings on KDUS AM 1060 from 6 to 9 a.m. with the Dan Patrick Show. Dan Patrick, the Danettes, sports icons, sports legends, celebrities, poll questions. The Dan Patrick Show has it all.
It's a crapshoot.
Be sure to lock your dials to AM 1060 or 100.7 HD2 from 6 to 9 a.m. Mornings just got better.
This story is about us.
Don't worry, much more coming on the Diamondbacks here in about 10 minutes or so. We'll discuss if that was the worst loss of the season last night. Trust me, there are a lot of candidates for the award of worst loss of the season for the Diamondbacks. Get into that about 10 minutes from now, but a quick NBA timeout. Because yesterday, Shams Charania went on the Pat McAfee show and made a ton of news. Shared a lot of information with the sports world. And one of the things that directly impacts us here on this program were his comments about San Antonio and Kevin Durant and there being mutual interest between the two sides dating back to the trade deadline. So at the deadline, Shams is saying mutual interest between San Antonio and Kevin Durant. Now, this entire time, when picking out landing spots for Kevin Durant, we've been focused on another Texas team. We've been focused on the Houston Rockets. And we've been focused on them because they have the Suns' picks, because they have been interested in the past in making a deal with the Suns, although it has been mostly for Devin Booker in those conversations, never really Kevin Durant. But Houston has really been the centerpiece. And we've looked at Minnesota. We've looked at New York. We've looked at Miami. We looked at all these other teams. And San Antonio has been a part of this list. And originally, I said, I don't know if San Antonio makes a whole lot of sense. Just like I don't think Houston makes a whole lot of sense. If Houston said, hey, Kevin Durant at 37 years old doesn't match the rest of our roster. He's old. Our roster is young. Why would we speed up our process, right? Why would we fast forward through the maturation process of our team here and put just so much more pressure on our team when there's already a ton of pressure on that young Houston Rockets squad? And so because of that, I wondered aloud, well, San Antonio doesn't make sense. They're behind Houston on their franchise life cycle. But the more I've thought about it, the more I wonder, does San Antonio make more sense than Houston? Does San Antonio need Kevin Durant more than Houston needs Kevin Durant? Weird to say, considering Houston got bounced early in the postseason, and San Antonio wasn't even in the postseason last year. And so you would think the desperation, the pressure would apply more to Houston than it would San Antonio. But let's take this for a spin. Houston was a playoff team last year. Houston was the 2 seed last year. Houston may want to just give their young core another shot. They got to the playoffs. I don't want to use the term embarrassed, but they got humbled pretty quickly in the first round of the NBA playoffs.
Put in their place a little.
You hope that that is a learning opportunity for the Houston Rockets, that they take something away from that experience and they use it to grow and be a better team next year. So they may want to see, even though they would have rather won, they want to see the results of what that loss may bring culturally to their team. San Antonio, on the other hand, they're trying to break through with their core. They're trying to break through with Wemby. They're trying to break through with the Aaron Fox and Castle and the young squad that they're putting together. They haven't even gotten a seat at the table just yet. And so when you're a young franchise looking to break through, perhaps a 37-year-old Kevin Durant is better suited to help you get over that hump and get to the playoffs for the first time. Because let's face it, do we think, and I'm asking aloud here because I don't know if I truly know the answer to this question. If Kevin Durant got traded to San Antonio right this second, we just waved the magic wand and Kevin Durant was on San Antonio. So you got Wemby, you got Durant, you got De'Aaron Fox. Are the San Antonio Spurs top 5 in odds to win the championship next season? Are they top 10 in odds to win the championship next season?
They're in the top 10. I don't think they're in the top 5.
So we wouldn't consider them a favorite, right?
No.
So there wouldn't be pressure on them to win a championship. Hey, how about you make the playoffs first? If Kevin Durant goes to Houston, 2 seed last year, bounced early, they had Kevin Durant, they're probably going to move up the board, and they would be a top 5 team to win the NBA title next season. There would be pressure on them. So San Antonio looking to break through, looking to make the playoffs, looking to get Wemby on course. De'Aaron Fox, that pairing together, trying to break through and see what this young core is able to do. They still haven't gotten to that point. And so perhaps trading for Kevin Durant makes more sense for them than it does Houston, because I don't know if the pressure would be there to win a championship. You know, Durant would want to because he's 37. But I don't know if the rest of the NBA would feel that exact same way about the Spurs. I have a pretty good feeling that if Durant got traded to Houston, they would be a top 5, probably a top 3 team to win the title next year. San Antonio wasn't in the playoffs last year. Adding Durant, okay, you expect them to make the playoffs. Houston, 2 seed last year, should have gone deep in the playoffs, didn't. You had 37-year-old Kevin Durant, who still played at a high level last year. I think people are going to expect, okay, you just poured fuel on the fire. Here we go. Different set of circumstances. So previously I thought if Houston didn't want him, why would San Antonio want him? But the more I've thought about this, and you have Shams saying that San Antonio has the interest, and I'm just trying to figure out why could they have the interest? Because they're looking to break through. They're looking to take this core and put them on that playoff stage the way the Rockets did this year, the way the Thunder have done the last couple of seasons. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get to where Minnesota is where Denver was at the beginning of this run with Murray and Jokic. That is what San Antonio is trying to start. And so adding a player like Kevin Durant can help them jumpstart that. Because I don't know if you trade for Kevin Durant if he is a part of a championship team there in San Antonio. But he can at least help get your guys to those playoff series that create valuable experience. There is a big difference between regular season NBA and postseason NBA. There's a big difference between a grind of an playoff series than there is the grind of an NBA regular season. And if you haven't been there, if you haven't done that, if you haven't played on that stage with those types of expectations, you don't know what you don't know. And so Kevin Durant could help instill that wisdom, could help get that team to that place and have them learn through that experience. I don't know if Kevin Durant is going to go to San Antonio. But it does feel like there are a bunch of teams that are at least going to make the phone call. San Antonio, at least according to Shams, appears to be one of those teams because there's mutual interest, and that is the important phrase that Shams used. Because it doesn't really matter if San Antonio has interest in Kevin Durant. All that matters is, does Kevin Durant have interest in San Antonio? Does Kevin Durant have interest in blank NBA team? That's what matters here. Because if he doesn't have interest in you, he is going to dictate this whole process for the Phoenix Suns. So perhaps we add San Antonio to the list here, and maybe they're the Texas team that should be in focus for us when discussing the summer of Durant that is nearly upon us. When we come back, it feels like a pretty simple question. Was last night the worst loss of the season for the Diamondbacks? I don't think it's as simple of an answer. That's next. The Lunch Break, KDUS, AM 1060.
Join in on the Sports Zoo on your ride home from work with Dave Rooster Bierstein. Join Rooster as he lays down what's happening around sports and makes it clear what's on his mind.
Oh, my.
Catch the day's craziest stories and some of the latest numbers from the sports books across the valley. The Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a wild option.
Weekdays 5 to 6 p.m. on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Judas Priest and Alice Cooper.
No more Mr. Nice Guy.
The Metal Gods, Judas Priest. The godfather of shock rock, Alice Cooper. October 22nd, Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater with special guest, Corrosion of Conformity. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Presented by 100.7 KSLX, part of the America First Credit Union Concert Series.
Hey, Mike Barrow from Barrow's Pizza here. The way we see it, family isn't just a cherished thing, it's everything. For us, that starts with our Grandma Angelina's family recipes brought over from Sarconi, Italy, like our sweet and tangy pizza sauce, 100% real mozzarella, and our fresh dough made every morning. And because every Barrow's is family-owned, never franchised, we personally make sure the quality's there at every location. So stop in and give Barrow's Pizza a try. It's authentic food from our family to yours.
Get the freedom to save with Chevrolet. Spectacular offers are available right now. Plus, you'll have the freedom to choose from an extensive lineup that's ready for all the adventure ahead. That includes popular models like the legendary Silverado, the versatile Equinox, plus the feature-packed and affordable Chevy Trax. Don't miss out. Memorial Day marks the beginning of summer and a great time to hit the open road in a brand new car, truck, SUV, or EV from Chevrolet. Hey, Phoenix, during the Memorial Day event, get 0.9% financing for 60 months on the 2025 Silverado 1500 Crew Cab Turbo Max, or get $7,600 total value when you trade in an eligible vehicle. Come by your Valley Chevy dealers for the Memorial Day event going on now. Must finance with GM Financial. Some customers may not qualify. Monthly payment is $1,705 for every $1,000 you finance. Example down payment 9.4%. Not available with lease and some other offers. Must trade in the 2011 model year or newer vehicle. Residential restrictions apply. Take new lead to delivery by 6/2/2025.
I'm Mark.
And I'm Colina. We've purchased 2 Fulton homes in the last 7 years. We would never buy anywhere but Fulton homes.
We actually tried other builders, looked at them, and nothing compares to Fulton quality. We're repeat builders with Fulton. It's been an amazing process, and we would never go anywhere else after experiencing it. The process working with the Fulton team was great. They cared. We got updates, and you could just tell how much they were excited, almost as much as we are. Fulton is so good at the homes they build. The quality you get is just really unmatched. They continue to care about us as a client, even though we've now finished the sale. I admired their communities because they were always a step above. The amount of landscaping, the way it was always groomed. They add the features that you want to be outside, you want to be in the community. And that matters to us. We want to be outside, not just in the home, and all the amenities are just amazing. We would buy Fulton Homes again in a heartbeat. I don't think we'd consider anybody else.
Fulton Homes. You're proud to own, we're proud to build.
The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alicio is your hub for everything high school and college sports. Join Vince and friends as they give you the full picture on student athletes and where they're heading. Live interviews with coaches across the valley.
Asking some of the tough questions.
Varsity recaps and in-depth interviews with tomorrow's sports stars. The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alicio. Live every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. Here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
We got buy or sell coming up in about 10 minutes from now. Want to tease for the people? Maybe what could be coming up in buy or sell, producer Evan? You don't have to give the whole enchilada away, just a little something.
Lot of Diamondbacks.
Wow, shocked on a day like today. You went heavy Diamondbacks for the buy or sell.
A little bit of Suns.
Okay.
And mostly Diamondbacks.
Okay, all right. So a lot of Diamondbacks coming up in buy or sell about 10 minutes from now. Getting back into what was a disgusting loss last night, a disappointing loss, a frustrating loss. I think I run out of words that I could use to describe that loss last night. It shouldn't be a loss. We shouldn't be talking about the Pirates winning that game 9-6 last night. A 7-run seventh inning, and the Pirates just destroy the Diamondbacks bullpen and has left us now trying to answer this question. Was last night the worst loss of the season for the Arizona Diamondbacks?
Yes, and it's not even close.
You say that.
Well, actually, the fact that this is its own segment is so disgusting.
You know what? I have it written down here. I have it written down here on my piece of paper. I said the fact that we are even debating this and that there are other games that can be on this list shows how bad this has gotten.
Yes. Yeah,
We've got candidates. We've got resumes to compare here.
No, and by the way, we can go into the depths of history to find some of these.
I've got 2 games off the top of my head that I want to put in this conversation with last night's game.
Yeah.
So I've got 2 other games that aren't last night's game.
Do you want me to try and guess them?
I would love that, because what's going to be funny is if you pick a game that's not on the list, that's going to further emphasize the point of how bad this is.
I have 2 that jump out immediately. And then I have a third that I think could be on your list, but I also don't know.
I have 2 that immediately I wrote down and they jumped
April
off.
18th, Cubs.
I did not have that one on the list.
What?
I didn't have that one on the
They
list.
scored 10 runs in an
I
inning
know.
and
I
lost the
didn't.
game.
I didn't have that one immediately pop in my head. There's some recency bias. I won't lie.
May 17th versus the Rockies.
The one where they gave up just runs in every inning after like the 6th inning.
Yes.
Yeah, that one is on the list.
And then I have the other one, which is I believe it's the May 9th game against the Dodgers, which is where they give up 6 in the 9th.
That's the other one. But the Cubs one's a great one.
And also, by the way, the fact that they lost the one game to the Braves where Eugenio Suarez hit 4 home runs, which just deserves an honorable mention.
Certainly. But yes.
Not on the list, but honorable mention for sure on that one.
4-18 against the Cubs. That is the game where they gave up 5 in the 7th and 6 in the 8th to blow that game. That started the meltdown list. That's what started it, and I didn't have that.
It's a conversation. They gave up 11 runs in 2 innings and lost to the Cubs. They scored 10 runs. 10 runs in an inning. They became only the 3rd team since 1900 to do that and lose a baseball game. And that's not on the list. That is somehow not the worst game of the year.
May 9th, you come back against the Dodgers. You have an 11-8 lead. You're about to steal a game at home, and you give up 6 runs in the 9th inning to lose that game.
Couldn't get anybody out.
The Rockies on May 17th, 4 runs in the 6th, 3 runs in the 7th, 1 run in the 9th. You lose that game. Do you want to know why that game I put on the list?
Yeah. Can I?
Sure.
Because you played the Rockies.
There you go. That's why that game, like the Cubs, you score 10 runs in an inning and you lose. Like you shouldn't have that happen to you. But the Cubs are a good baseball team. The Cubs have a good offense, right? I'm not surprised that they were able to score runs in bunches. It's the Colorado Rockies.
I mean, first and second in the RBIs is PCA and Seiya Suzuki.
Right, so we okay.
The Cubs are great offense, arguably the best in the National League.
The Rockies are not. The Rockies are the worst team in baseball. The Pirates are one of the worst teams in baseball. We've got one more team. All they have to do is do this against the White Sox, and they'll complete the trifecta of bad losses to bad baseball teams.
Yeah, I just want to let you know that in the worst offenses by OPS
Okay.
in all of baseball,
Yeah.
the Rockies are 28th.
Okay.
The Pirates are 29th.
Who's 30th?
30th would be the Chicago White Sox.
Yeah, well, circle that on your calendar, ladies and gentlemen, because they're going to.
But they're only behind by 8 points of the Rockies. 8 OPS points. You've given up a lead now to the 29th and 28th best offenses.
Worst offenses, please.
Sorry.
Worst offenses.
Yeah, 28th best.
Oh, the 28th best, 29th best. The two of the 3 worst offenses in the game of baseball. Yeah.
You've given up multiple late inning leads. You gave up 14 runs. The Pirates haven't scored 9 runs since McCutchen won the MVP. Like, when's the last time you've talked about like the Pirates had an offensive explosion? The Rockies haven't scored 14 since Arenado left.
I shared the stat in the opening segment. The Pirates last night are the first team since 1968 to come into a game averaging 3 runs or more, 3 runs or less, like they averaged 3 runs on the nose, and come back from being down 6 runs or more at any point in the game. Since 1968, they're the first team to do it. It doesn't happen. What you saw last night was baseball history, not in a good way. And so is that the worst loss? Or is giving up 6 runs in the 9th inning to the Dodgers the worst loss when you're 3 outs away from stealing a game?
It's also not the first time we've seen baseball history result in them losing a baseball game this year.
Or perhaps it's Eugenio Suarez hitting 4 home runs and you lose that game. We've got multiple legitimate candidates for the worst loss of the season. Now, the Rockies and the Pirates losses, they go to the top of the list for me because of the opponent. You gave up leads, you blew leads late to the Rockies and the Pirates. I can almost understand the Cubs doing that to you because how good they are offensively. I can actually wrap my head around that being a thing. I can't wrap my head around a 7-run inning by the Pittsburgh Pirates. I legitimately don't know if the Pirates have scored 9 runs in a game at any other point this season. They average like 3 runs a game. They're one of the worst offenses in baseball, so it probably didn't happen. That was probably their best offensive night of the season, and you just rolled out the red carpet for them. I don't know if that's... part of me wants to say that was the worst loss last night, just because it's fresh in all of our minds, and because it's a home game against the Pirates. But you blew a game to the Rockies at home as well. And the Rockies are a worse team. So the Rockies that might be the tiebreaker, is the Rockies are going to set a record for the fewest wins in a season. They're going to set the record for most losses in a regular season. That's how bad that team is. And you gave up. Let me check my notes here. I want to be accurate in how we describe this. You gave up 4 runs in the 6th, 3 runs in the 7th, and 1 run in the 9th back on May 17th against the Rockies. That's the top of the list. You want to do this right now? Impromptu list of the 5 worst losses this season for the Diamondbacks. Number 1 is 5-17 against the Rockies. Number 2 is last night. Number 3.
Only 3 times have the Rockies scored 9 runs. Have the Pirates scored 9 runs.
So 3 times, including last night or before last night?
That is including last night.
So 2 times previously in their 50-some-odd games have they scored 9 runs.
Yes.
So 5-17 against the Rockies is number 1. I'm putting last night number 2. Number 3 I'll put the Cubs game on.
Say you have to put the Cubs.
You do, but then you're not. Number 4 is the May 9th game against the Dodgers when you gave up 6 runs in the 9th inning. So what's number 5? What's the 5th worst loss of the season for this team? Is it the 4 home? It's got to be the 4 home run game. It's got to be the Suarez. Suarez hits 4 home runs and you lose. I mean, these are memorable moments. You're going to remember Eugenio Suarez hit 4 home runs and we lost the baseball game. You're going to remember.
What about May 24th when you're in St. Louis and so you bring in J-Mart in the 8th who gives it up and your manager came out and said, well, we didn't want to put him in a save situation in his first game back. So you brought him up in the 8th, up 1 against the top of the lineup. You didn't want to put him they didn't want to put him in a save situation. But we'll have him face 1, 2, and 3 in the 8th.
That's a 1-run game. It's on the road. It's a good team. Martinez is coming back from an injury. I can make excuses for that
we'll
one.
Circle that one and put it on the manager.
I can excuse make for that one. I can't excuse make for last night.
No, you can't.
I can't excuse.
It's so bad.
I can't excuse make for May 17th against the Rockies or April 18th against the Cubs.
Like who would have thought that the Diamondbacks this year with this awesome pitching staff, right? Like this highlighted pitching staff would have a stretch or 2 games, whatever you want to call it, where they gave up 14 to the Rockies and 9 to the Pirates. 23 runs to the Rockies and the Pirates over a 2-game stretch. I'd be willing to bet that the 14 has to be their highest this year.
I'm gonna probably for the Rockies, probably. The Rockies this season have scored 176 runs. Let me just do the math here.
So it's about 8%.
8% of their runs came in that one game.
Yeah.
Against you.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Oh, it's brutal. There are certain games you don't get up from, and the Diamondbacks are speed running, collecting those games right now. And if you lose today, and you said it before the series that you were going to be done with this team.
If they lose today,
you're done. You're done.
You know it's so great, Chris. If they lose today, they have an off day tomorrow, which is great because that'll give you all because you can fire the manager and the pitching coach, and you can bring in somebody. You can promote the bench coach. You get a full day to do all of the things that you need to do if you lose today.
I'm sure you're going to have something in buy or sell about Torey Lovello's future.
I'm not actually.
Really? Yeah. I thought for sure you were going to sneak it in to buy or sell.
I buy or sell wouldn't do this justice.
So how about this? We'll put a pin in that. We'll get to that a little bit later on here in the show. We'll make sure to discuss that. We'll take a time out. I've got some emails to read when we come back during buy or sell from some listeners of the program. And one Dodgers fan in particular who's spiking the football today. We'll get to all of that here on the other side, plus some buy or sell as we'll close up hour number 1 here on the other side. It's the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
James Out West, your home for sports down here in the desert. Join James and Pat the Stat Guy as they recap the weekend and dive deep into the numbers for the NFL, NBA, college sports, and more.
That's 5 seasons of 1,200 yards.
Player stats, team numbers, and contracts are just the start of the discussion for James and Pat.
He started 815 career games. He threw 749 complete games.
There's no hiding when it comes to stats. It's James Out West every Monday night from 7 to 8 p.m. right here on KTUS AM 1060 and on the KTUS 1060 app.
The legacy continues. Pantera. The heaviest tour of the summer.
What you say?
Tearing up Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater, August 26th. With Amon Amarth. On sale now at LiveNation.com. Part of the America First Credit Union Concert Series.
Maybe it's time to expect more from college. More opportunities and fewer barriers. Discover Maricopa Community Colleges, the Valley's most accessible higher education provider. With 10 colleges and more than 600 career and degree programs, we're committed to making college work for you. We provide affordable, high-quality educational opportunities that are accessible to everyone. Discover what makes us different at opportunity.maricopa.edu.
At Shane Company, we love a spring engagement, but you might be wondering, how do I find the perfect engagement ring?
As a trusted family jeweler since 1929, we get asked this a lot. We have a wide selection of ring settings, like vintage designs with romantic details, floral settings inspired by nature, and classic styles with clean lines and sleek metals. Dreaming of the most beautiful diamond you've ever seen? At Shane Company, we handpick only the sparkliest center stones in all shapes and sizes, from oval to round to marquise, and more. We have gorgeous natural and lab-grown diamonds at competitive prices, in-store, ready to compare side by side. Drawn to certain colors? We're known for our rainbow of vivid natural sapphires, including shades of blue, straight out of a fairy tale, handpicked by our owner, Tom Shane. At Shane Company, we have the best free lifetime warranty that includes the center stone, plus resizing, repairs, and cleanings for life. Visit us at shaneco.com or in store. No appointment necessary. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Attention all clones. The Jim Rome Show is here for you every day here on KDUS AM 1060.
Lots to get done. Welcome to the program.
Listen in as Rome dives into the biggest sports headlines of the day. From final scores, player contracts and trades, team prospects, and even a spicy take or two. The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. every weekday here on KDUS AM 1060.
That's the trick.
Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Back here on the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060, Chris Schubert here with you. Hey, if you're listening over on the KDUS AM 1060 app, make sure you're listening for your chance to win 4 tickets to the Diamondbacks when they take on the Washington Nationals on Saturday, May 31st. It's this Saturday at Chase Field. Domo's night at Chase Field. Get your Geraldo Perdomo bobble on May 31st, courtesy of Chaz Roberts. So we've got your chance to win the 4 tickets. Then you've got to beat everybody else at the ballpark to get your hands on the bobblehead. I've got nothing.
It's a nice bobblehead.
It's a nice bobblehead.
Taste jersey. I think he's coming to the backhand. Looks nice.
All I've got is your chance to win the 4 tickets. I don't have the bobblehead. You've got to do the work after I get you the 4 tickets. That's how it works.
You got to get in there early.
Yeah, listen on the app. Be registered and logged in for your chance to win. Speaking of the app, it's where you can email into the program using the feedback feature. We got a pair of emails. First one from Brian says, "Hi, guys. My brand of baseball dictates that you hug the lines in late inning situations when you can't give up a double. When Ginkel got the ground ball, I thought we were good until our third baseman was off the line. Awful strategy."
Actually, I want to – we haven't talked about that. Couldn't believe they weren't in no doubles defense up 3 with the bases loaded. That is a very good point.
Yeah. Again, everybody is to blame for last night. Torrey carries some blame. The bullpen carries a majority of the blame. You can't have that happen. Offense, last 17 batters, all making outs. Yeah. Everybody's got to be better. I don't even want to read the email from Paul, but I will. Got to admit, the games like last night are my favorite types of Diamondback losses. Snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. And then he has a bunch of ha-ha-has. Sorry about that, but I couldn't contain my laughter. Who is he going to bring out of the bullpen today? Spin the wheel, Torrey. You know what? Paul, I'm not even spinning the wheel for you. No, you're not going to email into the program, slander our Diamondbacks fan friends, and ask me to spin the wheel. I'm not doing it. I will not spin the wheel.
You know what, Paul? He can sit on his Dodgers high horse. I just want to make it very clear. Believe the Phillies and the Mets are just as good.
Yeah, see, you're falling into the trap. Now you're going back and forth with Paul, and you know how this ends. You don't want to do it. Let's get into a little bit of buy or sell here to close up hour number 1 of the program. 5 takes. I'm either buying or selling. Go ahead. Take it away, my friend.
Do you want to start with the Suns one before we do the 4 D-backs, or do you want to finish with the Suns one?
Let's get the Suns one out of the way.
Okay.
I think.
The Suns need to receive multiple first-round picks in exchange for Kevin Durant if they want it to be worth it.
Sell. We've long said on this program that the ideal package in our minds, a pair of picks, I'd like to see multiple firsts, but a pair of picks, a young player that is a starter, and a player with some potential. So it doesn't have to be 2 firsts, and that's it. It doesn't have to be all first-round picks. If you get me a starter, a young player with some potential, and 1 first-round pick, and then throw in a second or some pick swaps or something, I think I'm going to be happy with that. So I will sell.
I also forgot, yesterday I added one for today, so I do have a Cardinals one.
Okay.
Yeah, the Cardinals, new and improved pass rush, will finish in the top 10 in sacks this year.
Where did they finish last year? Do you know? See, I put you on the spot here. You came with the buy or sell. I had I had a follow-up question because I want to make an informed answer here. It was towards the bottom. I don't need the stats to be able to prove that. It was towards the bottom half of the league. I just don't know if they're going to be able to make that big of a jump. Do I expect them to be top half of the league? I do. Do I expect them to be top 10? I'm going to sell this until you give me more information. Based on the limited knowledge that I have in my head right now, I'm going to go with...
I'll be honest, shocking where they finished last year.
Really?
Yeah, 13th.
I'm going to buy this then. Buy. I would have, if you would have made... I would have said for sure outside of the top 20.
Yeah.
So I will buy this then. I'll pivot. It'll be a buy.
Yeah, couldn't believe like some of the teams they were above that just felt like they had better pass rush, like Cleveland, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh. You just kind of assume that those teams would have finished above them. They did not.
And just the narrative all season long was, do we have a pass rush? Do we have a pass rush? Do we have a pass rush? 13th that feels pretty high.
Yeah.
So I will buy that they will be in the top 10 based on that information.
Yeah, interesting. The month of June might be the most important stretch in the entire Diamondbacks season.
Oh, buy. Buy. It's going to make or break everything. Yeah. Because I'm sorry, but it's time to start thinking that if this team doesn't turn it around, what pieces are they selling at the deadline? Eugenio Suarez is a free agent at the end of the year. Zach Allen is a free agent at the end of the year. Like, we are...
Gallen will get traded if this continues to go this way.
We're not there yet. Let me make it very clear.
No, if they continue to get this.
If we continue to go down this path and this bullpen continues to be a problem, this team's going to be a seller. So June is very important because I think June is going to dictate what direction this team goes in. And being a seller absolutely is on the table right now.
It's time for the D-backs to stop using Kevin Ginkel as a positive role reliever. No matter what happens for the rest of the year, he's done in that role.
I love you using Tori's terminology, positive role reliever.
Mm-hmm.
I will sell this only because of the way you ended it.
Yep.
I would buy right now removing him and his 12 ERA from any high leverage situation. Yes.
I'm tired of why are they calling him a high or a positive role reliever? I don't care what he's done. Even going into last night, he had an 8 ERA.
So I think the problem with this is nobody really, maybe outside of Justin Martinez, is a positive role reliever right now.
But you could call somebody. I guarantee you they have somebody in Reno who would post you an 8.
Hold that thought for hour number 2 of the program. Hold that thought about what Reno has for the Arizona Diamondbacks. We'll get to that here in hour number 2 of the program. But truthfully right now, when it comes to positive role relievers, here you go, Paul. I'll play it for you. It's spinning the wheel, man. It's spinning the wheel. You just don't know who you're going to have on any given night as a positive role reliever. So I will buy that for the moment he needs to be removed from these high leverage situations. But truthfully, I just don't know who you're going to replace him with. I'm going to sell the idea that he needs to be done in the role for the remainder of the season. If he gains his confidence back, if he starts posting some results, I can see them going back to him in that spot.
Okay. Our last one. And this one is the kicker. I guess I should have said I have 1.5 Suns ones.
Okay.
If the Diamondbacks continue to play this way, this will no doubt be a more disappointing season than the Suns.
Oh, there's almost a whole segment that we can do about this. If it continues to go down this path, I'm going to buy this. And I'm going to buy this because personally, I put more on this Diamondbacks team than I did on the Suns team last year. Because I was the guy. I was the radio hack that got up in front of this microphone and said, this team can go toe-to-toe with the Dodgers. I was the guy who said, this rotation was awesome. I was the guy who said, Ginkel, Puck, Martinez was going to be a lights-out, slam-dunk bullpen. I was the guy who said this offense was going to be just as good as they were last year with the replacements that they made.
Is probably true.
But I said all those things. I made all those claims. And we're 55 games in, and I look like a moron. I look stupid for saying those things. The Suns, I thought, okay, maybe running it back out of point guard, new coach, they making the playoffs, sure. Didn't really think that they were going to make noise in the Western Conference playoffs. Did I think that they could get back to where they were a year ago, maybe go a little bit further? Yes. So because of the expectations that I put on the Arizona Diamondbacks compared to the expectations that I put on the Phoenix Suns, yes, I would buy this, that this would be a more disappointing season if it continues to go down this way. Hour number 1 of the program in the books. Hour number 2 right around the corner. We'll start with this. Speaking of those Suns, are the Suns about to be in the center of a chaotic NBA offseason? It's next, the lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
Mom, where are my keys?
Why do I have to take out the garbage? I'm too sick to go to school. Quit hogging the bathroom! Stop!
If you're having a hard time living with all the noise, it's even harder to live without it. One fake fentanyl pill could cost your child their life. Learn how to talk to your kids at talknowaz.com. This message is sponsored by Substance Awareness Coalition Leaders of Arizona.
9 Inch Nails. Live at Footprint Center, September 16th. Get tickets now at NIN.com. 9 Inch Nails, live in Phoenix. Peel It Back World Tour 2025.
As the old saying goes, size matters.
At Morgan & Morgan, we have over 1,000 lawyers and nearly 6,000 people on staff.
But at the core, this is and always has been a family business.
Our family, watching out for your family.
Call us or email us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even on a Saturday or a Sunday.
And if you ever have a problem, call our mom.
Morgan & Morgan.
For the people and your family.
Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hear that? That's the sound of a loaded cash explosion. It happens every time someone wins loaded cash explosion scratchers from the Arizona lottery. Oh, it's happening again. Since tickets are loaded with $1,000 prizes with explosive top prizes of $2.5 million. Plus, a second chance to win $1 million in the Players Club. Head to an Arizona lottery retailer and play loaded cash explosion scratchers today.
Make the most out of summer with a local Arizona getaway at Hilton Phoenix Resort at the Peak. The Hilton Phoenix Resort is offering an exclusive local discount of 20% off your staycation. All suite accommodations. Bring your family and enjoy the 4-acre water park. Full-service spa and fitness center. Arizona residents get up to 20% off the best available rates. Go to HiltonPhoenixResortAtThePeak.com to book your stay. Proof of residence required.
Fulton Homes is bringing legendary Fulton quality back to the West Valley. Explore 4 exceptional West Valley locations with more standard features and thousands of ways to personalize your home. Find out why people buy Fulton Homes over and over again. Fulton Homes, you're proud to own, we're proud to build.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
12 o'clock hour of the lunch break here on KDUS AM 1060. Chris Schubert with you. One more hour for us here on a Wednesday. Got producer Evan behind the glass taking your phone calls, 480-864-1060. We have been fired up today for sure about the Arizona Diamondbacks and their meltdown last night. Our meltdown list, we need some alliteration for it. We need meltdown and then we need something. I don't know what it could be. But we need to get something because these meltdowns, they just continue to pile up for this team. Another one last night. They start 35 minutes or so from now, the finale of the series with the Pittsburgh Pirates. It is Paul Skeens and Zach Gallen. And before we get back into the NBA real quick, I want to be excited about today. I want to be excited about watching Zach Gallen and Paul Skeens duel. I've been nothing but anxious about this game after what happened last night because you worry about Skeens going out there and dominating, and us having to come in here tomorrow and talk about a team that just lost the series at home to the Pittsburgh Pirates. That's the result of what happened last night. That is the carryover effect of allowing 7 runs in the 7th inning last night. But we're not talking about the Diamondbacks right now. We'll get to that in about 10 minutes or so when figuring out what this team can do to fix their bullpen issues. But right now, back into the NBA, We mentioned in hour number one, Shams Charania making news talking about San Antonio and their interest and the mutual interest that existed at the trade deadline between the Spurs and Kevin Durant. But that wasn't the only noteworthy thing that Shams Charania said yesterday when visiting with the Pat McAfee show. He also really amped up this idea that we are in for a exciting, chaotic, newsworthy, blockbuster level NBA offseason. That the parity across basketball is there in spades to the point where everybody is going to try to get better this offseason. The parity is so thin, is the way that Shams Charania described it. You could have a team be in the championship mix next year or be a lottery team. That is how the parity is spread across the NBA. We're about to have Indiana and Oklahoma City in the NBA Finals. We're about to have a 7th straight different champion in the NBA. Parity at an all-time high, coming out of the era of Golden State and Cleveland meeting in the finals every year for 15 years, it felt like. We are now enter an era of parity. And you are seeing teams embrace that parity in a chaotic way of, we can get better, we can make trades, we can find players that push us over the top because the opportunity is there. There is no dominant dynasty team. These aprons, the punishments for going over the first apron, going over the second apron, really makes it hard for a team to stay together for an extended period of time. Shams Charania talking about the Celtics making moves this summer. That roster that just won a title a year ago, that perhaps if not for Jason Tatum blowing out his Achilles, could have made a comeback against the Knicks and they could still be playing right now. That team going to make moves this summer. That roster is going to look different this summer. And so if the Celtics, a team that just won a championship, is going to make wholesale moves, what is everybody else going to do? And you know who might be at the center or at least near the center of this chaotic NBA offseason? Your Phoenix Suns. Because it is those Phoenix Suns who hold one of the more prized trade targets that is potentially available. Now, Giannis, the belle of the ball. Giannis is the guy that if he's available, everybody's going to be making phone calls. Everybody is going to trip over each other to try to put together a compelling enough trade offer to get Giannis from Milwaukee. But if Giannis is off the board, if Giannis doesn't want to go anywhere, if Giannis wants to stay in Milwaukee, Kevin Durant might be the next man up to be at the center of everything in the NBA this summer. It is why we have referred to it here on the program as the summer of Durant. It's not just the summer of Durant because it is huge for the Phoenix Suns, but it is the summer of Durant because he is going to be at the center of a lot of these conversations in the NBA. And the parity that exists right now is not just good for the sport in general, although I don't know. I saw an interesting little piece of information this morning. Producer Evan, do you know the combined TV market number in millions of people for Indiana and Oklahoma City? Combined, you add the two market sizes together. Do you know what that footprint is?
I have no idea.
So if what I saw this morning is correct, the footprint for those two markets, 1.8 million people.
And what is New York's alone?
400 million people? I don't know. It's probably closer to 15 or 20 for New York. So that's what the NBA is this close to having. Indiana and Oklahoma City, two of their two smallest TV markets. Trying to think if there's any markets that may be smaller than that.
San Antonio?
Memphis? How small is Memphis?
Yeah, I don't know.
They're not. They're definitely bigger than Indiana and Oklahoma City, right?
You'd have to.
I'd have to assume.
Like Indiana, at least they have they have an NFL team there. Like Indianapolis.
Oklahoma City literally just has the Thunder.
Yes,
and it is a small town as it is.
Like I'm assuming they have a minor league team, but
they do. They have a minor league baseball team. I believe the Dodgers AAA affiliate or one of their affiliates is Oklahoma City.
Okay.
I don't know why that popped into my brain, but I think that Oklahoma City is a affiliate for the Dodgers in minor league baseball. The get-in price for the Thunder to punch their ticket to the NBA Finals, the get in the door price, meaning worst seat in the building, just a cool $172 can get you in the building in Oklahoma City to watch the Thunder. Imagine what that ticket would be in New York. The get in price, meaning the worst seat in the building. MSG, Knicks with
$1,000.
$1,000. It's at least $2,500. The lowest get in price. We are this close to Indiana, Oklahoma City for the NBA championship. Now, would be good basketball, two good teams, would be a lot of fun. Halliburton, SGA, all those things would be great. Just would bring in some really, really bad TV numbers. Like some of the worst TV numbers that you will see. John over on YouTube says the Pirates have a AA affiliate in Indianapolis as well. So some minor league baseball over there to add to their sports.
They do. I remember when Skeens was pitching there.
Sports portfolio. Even in a basketball segment, we find our way talking about the Pirates once again. They're like the bug on the windshield. They won't go away today.
No, they live rent-free.
They live rent-free in all of our heads today.
Yeah.
So Kevin Durant and the Phoenix Suns, they're going to be at the center of this. And if it's as chaotic as Sham says it's going to be, and player trades are going to be at the center of all of this, I mean, I'm seeing rumors all over the place. Drew Holiday, I saw something about Jackson Hayes today. Just every single day, there seems to be a new rumor of a new player that could potentially be on the move. And that is going to create drama. It is going to create the chaos that the NBA offseason, that fortunately has just become synonymous with. When the NBA offseason gets here, you expect the soap opera. You expect the drama. You expect the chaos. You expect the blockbuster trades. And I think, at least according to everything that we're hearing, you're going to turn that up an octave this offseason because everybody is going to be trying to get better, or at least most teams are going to try to get better because the parity is at a level that we haven't seen in a really long time. And there's a long-standing debate about how good parity is for certain sports. I think in the NFL, the parity is great. I think the parity leads to some really great moments. And even in a league of parity, you've had one team, the Kansas City Chiefs, just be the arch villain for everybody else, right? In the NBA, is parity really that great of a thing? Now, I'm always a fan of new teams being in the mix and teams getting stale and a team overstaying their welcome at the top, and then it becomes boring, right? Golden State, Cleveland, on paper, should have always been fun. Steph, Clay, Draymond against LeBron and the Cavs, that every year should have been fun because of the star power. It was not fun at the end. By the time we were like, all right, somebody new, please. And now we're on a run right now where we are about to crown our 7th different champion in the last 7 seasons.
It also didn't help that the Cavs, they had LeBron. But they weren't a good team.
Hey. They had Kevin Love. They had Kyrie Irving.
No, but after that.
Be respectful.
In 17-18, that team. I mean, people forget Derrick Rose played for that team. D-Wade played for that team.
Dwayne Wade was there.
Like that team, I think Kendrick Perkins played for that team. They had like 60 guys on the roster throughout the year. They went to the finals. By the way, I want to talk about this. If I can't remember if that was the year or if it was another year, the J.R. Smith game.
The LeBron throwing his arms out like, what's going on?
What gets forgotten in that game is that was the greatest performance by a player I have arguably ever seen in the NBA in a losing effort. LeBron James in game 1 of I believe it's the 18 finals.
So it is game 1 of the NBA finals.
Yes.
Where he commits the cardinal sin of just throwing the ball away.
Yes, where he doesn't get a shot up because he thinks they have the lead.
Just holds on to the ball. Just dribbles away with 5 seconds to go. Game 1 of the 2018 NBA finals between the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, it's the greatest game I've ever seen by a player in a losing effort, other than Tom Brady when they lost the Patriots.
You wonder how different the series is if they get the shot off and they win the game. Because they get swept that series.
I think they still would have lost in 5. Because that was a 2-point game, and I think LeBron had 50.
Well, it was 107-107 at the time of the dribble out with 5 seconds to go.
Okay.
With 4.7 seconds to go. Let's make sure that we're
LeBron James had 51.
Yeah, you have to win that game, don't you?
Yeah.
LeBron goes for 50 and you lose. Like, you have to win that game.
He had 51 points. He had, I mean, this is insane. He had 8 assists. He had 8 boards. He had a steal, a couple blocks.
And you lose.
And you lost.
And you lose. You lose the game.
I don't know how we got to the 18 NBA Finals, but
again, I wonder how different that series goes if they find a way to win that game. If they get the shot off and they win the game.
Goes 5 games.
I think they probably feel a little bit more confident in themselves by winning the game in game 1.
Yeah.
Instead, they got swept, and we are left with an infamous meme that will live on forever and ever in sports history. Just LeBron James, just his arms out, extended, wondering what on earth is going on right now.
Could you imagine dropping 51 and then having somebody run away from the basket at the end? Like, oh, that's killer.
You've poured your heart and soul into this game to drop 50 to try to just will your team to the upset, because it's an upset over Golden State in game 1.
Yeah, this was the year. I'm trying to remember what year they were all time, but this is their year with Kevin Durant. This is the first year they have Durant.
And so you're about to beat that team on the road.
Curry, Draymond, Thompson.
And you know what? We have a drop for this. And you give it away. Gave it away. Just gave the game away. Oh, no, you know what? I got a better drop. JR, you got to do something. Something. Please give me something with the ball in your hand. I don't know how we got to the 2018 NBA Finals and J.R. Smith, but there we were.
I don't either, but you know what, J.R. Smith and LeBron, you know what they weren't?
The alignment.
No. There was no.
That's not going to be a problem for the Suns because we're going to be
the alignment.
Yeah, no alignment between J.R. Smith and LeBron James in the final seconds of Game 1 of the 2018 NBA Finals. 480-864-1060 is the phone number. John wants to add the LeBron game to the list of blown games. John, that's not what the list is about, buddy. We got to save that. Diamondbacks only on that list. We can't put J.R. Smith. We can't retroactively add blunders by LeBron James in the NBA Finals to the list.
You know what's also crazy? This game was 7 years ago.
Makes me feel old.
Yeah.
480-864-1060, the phone number if you want to join us here, or as we just read a comment off of it, you can join us over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream as well. Would love to hear from you over there. When we come back, we know it's bad. We've been talking about it all day. What can they do about it? That's next. The lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
Ready to tackle each morning with the best sports information coming at you?
I'm going to take a logical approach.
Get that weekday mornings on KDUS AM 1060 from 6 to 9 a.m. with the Dan Patrick Show. Dan Patrick, the Danettes, sports icons, sports legends, celebrities, poll questions. The Dan Patrick Show has it all.
It's a crapshoot.
Be sure to lock your dials to AM 1060 or 100.7 HD2 from 6 to 9 a.m. Mornings just got better.
This story is about us.
Empty slogans and cute jingles. Lawyers love to act like they care. Do they back it up? Hi, I'm Mark Breyer.
And I'm Alexis Breyer. We're the husband and wife law team. One study found that half of all clients were unhappy with the lawyer they hired. The number one complaint, a total lack of communication.
We take client happiness seriously. That's why we survey all our clients and know that over 97% are happy. Do your research. Call the husband and wife law team first.
Shinedown. Dance Kid Dance Tour.
Dance Kid Dance.
Live in Phoenix. Footprint Center, Saturday, August 2nd. With special guests, Bush and Morgan Wade. Get tickets now at livenation.com.
It's about to get heavy.
Shinedown, live in concert. For more, visit shinedown.com.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Bluebell Groom's Cake Ice Cream is renewing its vows on the frozen aisle.
Milk chocolate ice cream with chocolate cake pieces, chocolate-coated strawberry hearts, swirls of strawberry sauce, and chocolate icing. See you at the reception.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at all Albertsons and all Safeways.
I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. Superstars just don't fill up the box scores. They show up when it matters most. That's what separates your everyday all-star from a true franchise cornerstone. And there's no better proving ground than the playoffs. Tyrese Halliburton has been putting that on full display. Pacers guard has taken his game to another level this postseason. He's averaged just under 20 per game, nearly 10 assists, and continues to stretch defenses with his deep range. And let's not forget, he drilled that shot in Game 1 against the Knicks, a cold-blooded dagger that instantly became one of the most iconic moments in Pacers history. Well, last night, he topped it. In a pivotal Game 4, the Knicks looking to seize momentum, even the series, Halliburton went 32 and 15, leading to a triple-double and leading Indiana to a 9-point win and a commanding 3-1 series lead. These aren't just great games, they're statement games, and Halliburton's statement is loud and clear. He's not just on the rise, he's arrived. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. If you played pickleball in regular sneakers, you know you can pay the price. They don't cut it. And Todd found this out the hard way. We have this great sponsor, Tyrell. They make the best pickleball shoes. So one day Todd is playing pickleball and he forgot his Tyrell pickleball shoes. Well, you know what happened? He got hurt. He was playing in some fancy different shoes that aren't meant for pickleball, and he learned a lesson. Tyrell has everything you need to keep your feet cool. They're tough. They're lightweight. They're so solid on your feet, and you're going to wear and tear on the court, and they're ready to go. Every detail is built to help you play better. Tyrell pickleball shoes. If you want to play longer, feel better, and stop sliding around in those old sneakers, go to TyrellPickleball.com. You can look like a pro. You can play like a pro. It's Tyrell pickleball shoes. You spell it Tyrol. Tyrell pickleball shoes, the best pickleball shoes, purpose-built for pickleball.
Join in on the Sports Zoo on your ride home from work with Dave Rooster Bierstein. Join Rooster as he lays down what's happening around sports and makes it clear what's on his mind.
Oh, my.
Catch the day's craziest stories and some of the latest numbers from the sports books across the valley. The Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a wild option.
Weekdays 5 to 6 p.m. on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Producer Evan with an excellent point during the break. Imagine getting into your car and the first time you tune into the lunch break here on KDUS AM 1060, expecting us to talk about the Diamondbacks last night or Suns or Cardinals. You just hear us riffing on Game 1 of the 2018 NBA Finals. Now, in the context of what we were talking about, it makes a ton of sense. But imagine you switched over. You're like, let me just listen, see what's going on here. And that's what you heard. Like, what are these guys doing? What are they talking about? Why is the 2018 NBA Finals?
I was going to say, it's not even just national sports.
No,
it's from 7 years
right,
ago.
Again, without the context, it feels extremely weird that it was even brought up. But yeah, that's what happens here on the show. We sidebar. It happens pretty regularly. Not going to sidebar about this. The Diamondbacks bullpen, again, last night adds to our meltdown meter, our meltdown list with another one. And a seven-run eighth inning, by the Pittsburgh Pirates leads to the 9th game that we have put on the list of meltdowns from this bullpen this season, and they've had a bunch. And so let's try to be solution-oriented here right now. Let's try to come up with answers, because if you look up and down this bullpen, you see ERAs that are not pretty. You see Kevin Ginkel with a 12.6 ERA. You see Ryan Thompson with a 6.7 ERA. You see Juan Murillo with a 4.05 ERA. Jalen Beeks' ERA is over 3. Justin Martinez's ERA is near 4. And for relievers, one bad outing can absolutely torpedo your ERA for the entire season. These guys are just not pitching well enough. They're just not getting it done. So what can they do? Well, I think the easiest place to start is with the guys that they can move, okay? These are the guys that have options down to the minor leagues. Justin Martinez, Kevin Ginkel, Scott McGough, Ryan Thompson, Juan Murillo. Those are the guys that have options to go down to the minor leagues. You're not moving Justin Martinez down to the minor leagues. So that leaves Ginkel, McGough, Thompson, and Murillo. Now, normally, I would say, well, Kevin Ginkel is a veteran, has been with you for 4 seasons. Same with Ryan Thompson. How can you send these guys down? We are past being able to use the experience, the veteran status that you've been with the team for a couple of years. You got to produce. You've got to have the results. And the results are not there for Kevin Ginkel. The results are not there for Ryan Thompson. So anything is on the table right now for this team. I wouldn't be surprised if they kick around the idea of sending Ginkel down to Reno to see if he can just reset. Wouldn't be surprised if they said the same thing about Ryan Thompson. Those two guys combined have an ERA north of 8. Ryan Thompson, Kevin Ginkel combined, an ERA north of 8. Basically, unusable in key spots. So I've got 8 names out in the bullpen. 2 of them, before I even put the car in park at the ballpark, are unusable right now in high leverage situations, positive role situations. Torrey can tell me that Kevin Ginkel is one of his better positive role relievers. Not right now. Can't use him. So now I'm down to 6 guys. I've got Shelby Miller, who isn't supposed to be a positive role reliever, made the team in spring, was supposed to be one of those guys that helped bridge the gap to your setup guys, the 5th inning, the 6th inning. That was the role best suited for him. And then he's the closer at one point. He's the setup guy at some point. So now I've got a bullpen of 8. My closer, Justin Martinez, is just coming back from an injury. Shelby Miller is my top setup guy. He's not supposed to be my top setup guy. Jalen Beeks is probably the only guy that's in the role that he was designated for at the start of the season. But they signed Beeks, what was it, 2 days before the season started? Kendall Graveman was hurt to start the year, is a veteran guy that they brought in. He's been okay. Ginkel I can't use in a big spot. Scott McGough has been up and down all season. Ryan Thompson I can't. Who does this team have to use in a high leverage spot right now that you trust? So you've got to make changes. So now you look at who's available. These are the 4 names. These are the 4 guys that are on the 40-man roster that are down in Reno, meaning they don't have to make another roster move. They can just send somebody down, call them up. They don't have to create a spot for him on the 40-man. 4 guys. Bryce Jarvis, who's thrown 7 innings at the big leagues this year, and they were not very good. Christian Montas de Aco, who was up at one point. They didn't use him at all while he was up here. He's got a sub 2.5 ERA down in Reno. Feels like that's a guy that you should consider calling up. But here's the catch-22 with that. You call him up, and you're basically calling him up and throwing him directly to the Wolves by putting him in a big spot. It's a tough ask. Joe Mantiply, we've had that experience this year, and Kyle Nelson. Those are the 4 names that are on the 40-man roster that are available to you in Reno. Joe Mantiply had a 15.8 ERA. No, that's not a typo. That's not a misprint. I didn't read it wrong. A 15.83 ERA in his 10 games that he pitched for the Diamondbacks at the big league level. He's gone down to Reno and has pitched in another 10 games, and he has an ERA near 6. Does Joe Mantiply give everybody the warm and fuzzies to come up and help this bullpen? This team doesn't have a ton of options. Internally, they don't have a lot of high-quality options available to them. And I'll tell you what, I was looking, I have the FanGraphs depth charts that allows you to go through the minor leagues and see. Now they have this kid down in Reno, Kyle Amnet, who is a 25-year-old reliever, one of their top prospects, but he's hurt right now. So he's not available. And so I was looking through all this, and I saw an interesting name. Because do you know who is just a mere couple of days away from being able to return from a 1-year suspension? Andrew Salfrank was suspended for 1 year on June 4th, 2024. Lefty reliever, who had been a part of the bullpen in the past, was suspended for a year for gambling-related things, if I'm remembering correctly. He's about to be eligible to return to Major League Baseball. Now, hasn't pitched in a year, hasn't pitched in a big league game since June of last year, but that's where we're at.
What's the difference?
That's where I'm at right now. That's what I'm looking at and going, well, he's going to be back in a week or two.
Yeah, that could be big.
Maybe by the end of June, he's pitching in games for the Diamondbacks. That is how, at the bottom of the barrel, we are at right now. They, truthfully, do not have an internal option that you should have confidence in that's going to be called up and help fix this. Here's the worst part of this. Here's the dirty little secret. Does AJ Puck coming back fix this? They've got way bigger problems than just one reliever coming back. And that's probably not happening till the end of June.
And I just can't see a world where they're going to get to a spot when all these guys are back that we're talking about them pitching back-to-back days consistently.
Puck, you assume, is not going to be back until the end of June. Sal Frank, I was mainly kidding, but he is somebody that's going to be available and pitched at the big league level in 2024 and was decent in the minor leagues. He's only 27 years old. Had a 2.63 ERA in the minors in 2024 before he got called up to appear in 2 games in 2024 and then got suspended.
And your also hope is you get some of these guys back. We'll see where they're at. Maybe they make a trade. All those things happen, but you can't fall farther behind the 8 ball than you already are.
No, you can't afford to add more games to the meltdown meter.
I like that.
You can't do it.
I like the meltdown meter.
We're filling it up.
Yeah, I mean, 9.
We're at 9 games right now. Some more of the meltdown variety than others. Yesterday is a full-blown meltdown.
Like that one was a meltdown. The Phillies one goes in a whole different category almost.
That's a DEFCON 1 level meltdown. Like you can't have those.
A lunch break 1.
A lunch break 1 level meltdown was what last night's game was. There are others that are 4s, 3s. That's a full-blown lunch break 1 meltdown. You can't have it.
That is one of the worst meltdowns I have seen for a game that I've watched like wire to wire. Like how often do you witness a bad meltdown like that? I've done it 3 times this year. We're like the Rockies sat down and watched that one wire to wire. Like they blew a lead to the Rockies.
I wonder if we're now at a point, because I've done it a couple of times already, where you sit down and the Diamondbacks get up to a lead and you start wondering, how are they going to blow it tonight? You ask the question.
Who is it going to be?
To yourself. You assume that it's going to happen.
And last night, it felt like, you take a break off that assumption because it's the Pirates.
And now
you can't even do that.
You can't even do that. No, this is the worst thing you can say about a baseball team. And this is not in the positive way where your offense is really good. No lead is safe right now. There is not a single lead that right now for this team you should feel comfortable about. And today, they now get to face, in 7 minutes from now, Paul Skeens, who might be able, the last 17 Diamondbacks made outs last night. Paul Skeens can just keep that ball rolling. That's how good he is. I don't know where they go from here, truthfully. And I was hoping that by doing this, we could maybe get to a place where some names pop up. The only name I would consider right now is a guy who's already been up, didn't pitch, but was already up for you. And that is Christian Montas de Aca, who was up here earlier in the season. Has pitched okay in his 21 innings down in Reno. I think he's got like a 2.3 ERA. And give him some run. But that's going to require you to call somebody up, call up a kid who's 25 years old, and to throw him right into some high leverage spots right away. And I just don't know if Torey wants to do that. I don't know if Torey will do that. But this team, we're not there yet. We're getting very close to this season being over. We're getting very close to wondering if they're going to be able to unravel the mess that they're making for themselves.
Tonight's start for Zach Gallen.
This afternoon start in 6 minutes.
6 minutes, sorry. Today's start for Zach Gallen. is one of the most important regular season starts of his career. Probably.
Is it the most important game of the season thus far for the Diamondbacks?
Yeah.
I think so. I think, we asked if last night was the worst loss. Well, we'll take it a step further. Is today one of the most important games?
You've put yourself in the back burner. If they won last night handedly and you don't score a run and Paul Skeens pitches 8 innings and Bednar comes in and you lose 1-0, is what it is. Whatever it happens, that's one of the best pitchers in the league, if not the best pitcher in the National League. Okay. But now you've put yourself on the back burner. Like, you have to win today.
Yeah.
No ifs, ands, or buts about it. You have to win.
You hate to say must win. I hate to use this, but it feels like a must win today against Skeens.
I don't hate to say it. This is a must win. This is, I've circled this all day. This to me is the manager's job today. And they won't ever agree. If I was the owner of the Arizona Diamondbacks, I would tell them going in, Torrey, if you win today, congrats. Keep your job for a little bit. But if you lose, and you guys lose a series at home to the Pirates, we're moving on.
You pushed this in the morning meeting today that you're ready to be done with Torrey. And I'm not.
This is his 9th year.
I know.
This is his 9th year.
And maybe we put a pin in this and we save it, because win or lose today, I think it's a conversation. And maybe we give it a little bit more airtime tomorrow, especially if they lose, because then it becomes, I think, the big story tomorrow of when do they, just from a self-preservation perspective, do something. You got to do something to try to save the season.
They feel all out of
the alignment.
No alignment whatsoever right now, especially down there in the bullpen. And you change the pitching coach. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff that is different with this team compared to last year. And John says, when Burns gave up the homer, I got that feeling it wasn't ending well. That's where you're at with this team. Like, that's what I'm saying. When your best pitcher can be on the mound, you have a 6-run lead.
And he made one mistake.
You make one mistake and it's 6-2, and you already think the wheels are falling off. Normally, I would say you're just being a fan. You're being crazy. You're just thinking the worst. No, I think it's legitimate to start having that feeling when the bad things start to happen, because this team doesn't help themselves. They don't help themselves. 480-864-1060 is the phone number. You can also join us over on the KDUS AM 1060. John says, every week this is the most important game, or every week this is the worst loss. Feels like every day we add more. Like, every week it starts to ramp up. Oh, no, this was the worst loss. Or no, this is the most important game. That's how on the edge this season feels like it is for the Arizona Diamondbacks. When we come back, could a bounce-back candidate for the Cardinals make their defense even better than we expect in 2025? That's next on the lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio is your hub for everything high school and college sports. Join Vince and friends as they give you the full picture on student athletes and where they're heading. Live interviews with coaches across the valley.
Asking some of the tough questions.
Varsity recaps and in-depth interviews with tomorrow's sports stars. The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio. Live every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Every summer, across the valley, hundreds of our homeless neighbors die because of the heat. This is tragic, and it is preventable. None of us can stop the heat, but together we can save lives. With incredible partners like you, Phoenix Rescue Mission is able to provide life-saving water and critical care to our neighbors in need. Join us this summer and make a difference. Learn more at phoenixrescuemission.org/code red.
Phoenix, are you ready to ascend? Bring me the horizon. USA Ascension Program, Part 1.
Every sky will build, my friend.
Taking over Footprint Center, October 2nd, with special guest
Crawling from hell.
Motionless in White, The Plot in You, and Amira El Fiki. On sale now at livenation.com. Bring me the horizon. Presented by the Big Red Radio.
Looking to sell your home? Hi, I'm Andrew the Home Buyer, and I love making it easy to sell your house. I'll personally come and give you a cash offer the same day we meet, and I'll beat any other offer. It really is that easy to sell your home. and no need to clean or fix anything. I'll buy it in as-is condition. Call me, Andrew the Homebuyer, today to get your same-day cash offer. Visit andrewthehomebuyer.com.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I'm Kevin Rowe from Lerner & Rowe, and we've been serving Arizonans for 20 years. Make the best choice after an accident. Call 977-1900. That's 977-1900.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900. 977-1900.
Dive into summer style and savings during the Memorial Day event at Living Spaces. Enjoy cozy lounging with sofas starting at $350, easy resting with queen beds starting at $195, and special meals with dining sets starting at $295. You'll even find outdoor sets for alfresco fun starting at $595. Plus, pay no interest for 24 months on select purchases with your good credit and enjoy free shipping as soon as next day. Celebrate the start of summer and shop the Memorial Day event only at Living Spaces.
Living Spaces.
A noisy garage door is a cry for help. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello, owner at A1 Garage Door Service. Most repairs are simple, but if left untreated, they can turn into costly repairs. Your garage door works hard every day, and a little maintenance goes a long way. We fix garage doors fast with quality parts designed to last a lifetime. From repairs to upgrades, it's A1 from day one. Call A1 Garage Door Service, and you'll be smiling today.
A1Garage.com. A1 from day one.
James Out West, your home for sports down here in the desert. Join James and Pat the Stat Guy as they recap the weekend and dive deep into the numbers for the NFL, NBA, college sports, and more.
That's 5 seasons of 1,200 yards.
Player stats, team numbers, and contracts are just the start of the discussion for James and Pat.
He started 815 career games. He threw 749 complete games.
There's no hiding when it comes to stats. It's James Out West every Monday night from 7 to 8 p.m. right here on KTUS AM 1060 and on the KTUS 1060 app.
I'll tell you, love the listeners of this program. I love our P1s. I love the folks that are here with us every single day because we love to make this show a conversation. And we love to get you guys inspired to have a back and forth with us. And sometimes you bring things to the table that weren't even on my mind. John, during the break, provided this piece of information that we have 9 games on the meltdown meter. They've played 56 games. Today will be game 56, right? They're 27 and 28. So today will be game 56. That's basically one game like that every 6 times out. So that's basically one game a week. So John points that out and says, you can't do that every week and keep the team morale high. Every week you're doing something like this. And I hadn't thought about it in that context until it was written out like that and the math was there. But yeah, every week, basically, something like this happens. You don't survive as a team. You don't get the results that you need as a team if that's the case. So just an interesting way to look at it, one that I hadn't considered. Make sure you're listening on the KDUS AM 1060 app or you're streaming us, KDUSAM1060.com. Registered, logged in while you're listening because you can listen for your chance to win 4 tickets to the Diamondbacks when they take on the Washington Nationals Saturday, May 31st at Chase Field. Domo's night at Chase Field, the Geraldo Perdomo Bobble, May 31st, courtesy of Chaz Roberts. Again, we've got your chance to win the 4 tickets. You then have to get to the ballpark, beat everybody else there, and get your hands on the bobblehead. Or you can get your tickets over at dbacks.com/SGT. Bounce back candidates for the Arizona Cardinals in 2025. The topic of a story over on PFF. One bounce back candidate for all 32 teams. Their selection for the Arizona Cardinals may surprise you, but it also may tell a story of how good this defense can be next season because their pick for a bounce-back candidate in 2025, Baron Browning, the edge rusher. Here's what they had to say about Baron Browning. Quote, on the surface, the Cardinals extending a player who earned just a 58 PFF grade last season may not seem wise. However, Baron Browning found his groove as a pass rusher after being traded to Arizona and could be poised for a return to his 2023 form. From weeks 10 through 18 last season, Browning ranked 16th among qualified edge defenders with a 77.3 pass rush grade. He also ranked 6th among that same group with an 18.6% pass rush win rate. A full season of that level of production would significantly improve the outlook of Arizona's pass rush, end quote. Now, I was on record, I didn't love the Baron Browning trade when they made it last season. I did not think that was the type of move that the performance that the team had given up until the trade deadline warranted. I thought a bigger splash was required. You had a team with an opportunity to win the division, to host a home playoff game, to surprise, and you just made kind of a fringe move on the margins. Now, Browning was better than even I anticipated during his run here. And when you see these numbers laid out of how good he was in the back half of the season, and you start to dream of Sweat alongside of him, Zaven Collins there, the improvements that they made to the defensive line. If he can play like this as his base level, you would assume that with Sweat and Tomlinson and Campbell and Robinson and Walter Nolan and everything that they've done to this defense, he might be able to be an even better version of himself. So that edge group that when we, a couple weeks ago, discussed the strength of the Cardinals defense, which group is the strongest? Which group do we like the most? We didn't have edge near the top, mainly because we thought it was Josh Sweat and a bunch of guys. If Baron Browning can be more than just a bunch of guys, now you've got something. Now it's a question mark because I still think Baron Browning is more of the player that you saw in the first half of last season that was a meh trade when they made it at the deadline. But he could be something. He could be a player that if he plays the way that he did in weeks 10 through weeks 18, if you get that version along with Sweat, along with the improvements that they made against the defensive line, top 10 in sacks like we did in buy or sell, top 5 in sacks, could definitely be on the table. So thought it was interesting, this list, Baron Browning listed as a bounce back candidate, Marvin Harrison Jr., another name that you probably could have invoked here. So I was surprised when this was the name that they shared this morning. We have flown through this show. I didn't even get to discuss more of this list the way that I wanted to. But we've got one more segment. Love to hear from you. 480-864-1060 is the phone number. The KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream as well. The leftovers, all of the stories that we didn't get to. I'm sure there's a bunch of them today. We spent a lot of our time talking about the Diamondbacks. So a bunch in store for the leftovers. We'll do it next here. KDUS AM 1060.
Attention all clones. The Jim Rome Show is here for you every day here on KDUS AM 1060.
Lots to get done. Welcome to the program.
Listen in as Rome dives into the biggest sports headlines of the day.
From final scores, player contracts and trades, team prospects, and even a spicy take or two. The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. every weekday here on KDUS AM 1060.
That's the trick.
Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
This Memorial Day, it's mania at Santan Ford. Employee pricing for everyone. You pay what we pay. Get $9,000 off MSRP on new 24 Ford Super Duties. How about America's best-selling truck, the F-150, on sale for up to $8,700 off MSRP. Employee pricing at Santan Ford means you pay what we pay. Expeditions, Explorers, Broncos are all thousands off MSRP. Shop the madness. Shop the employee pricing in person or online. Santan 202 Freeway in Val Vista and Gilbert or santanford.com. Going on now. Restrictions may apply. See Santan Ford for details.
Pierce the Veil. I Can't Hear You World Tour 2025. Pierce the Veil, live in concert in Phoenix with Sleeping with Sirens and Beach Weather, live at Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater, June 15th. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Part of the America First Credit Union Concert Series.
When you hear crunch, whine, boing,
Alaskan AC will arrive to fix it in less than 24 hours from the first crunch,
whine, boing. No matter what kind of
crunch,
whine, or boing your AC is making.
We fix it on your schedule.
That's huge. We guarantee to be there in 24 hours or less, or the repair is free. We not only get there fast, we Polar Bear promise we'll get the job done right.
We believe you deserve fresh air free of humidity in every room of your home, and you should never hear crunch,
Wine. Boing.
If you do, call Alaskan AC and we guarantee we'll be there in under 24 hours.
If we don't make it, your repair will be free. No matter how big the crunch,
Boing.
or wine. Wait, I thought I was wine. You're crunch.
I'm Crunch. You're boing.
I don't think I'm boing. Gary's more of a boing than me. William is crunch. Schedule now and tell us who boing is. Only at AlaskanAC.com.
Ready to tackle each morning with the best sports information coming at you?
I'm going to take a logical approach.
Get that weekday mornings on KDUS AM 1060 from 6 to 9 a.m. with the Dan Patrick Show. Dan Patrick, the Danettes, sports icons, sports legends, celebrities, poll questions. The Dan Patrick Show has it all.
It's a crapshoot.
Be sure to lock your dials to AM 1060 or 100.7 HD2 from 6 to 9 a.m. Mornings just got better.
This story is about us.
Back here on the lunch break, Chris Schubert with you. Jim Rome coming up at the top of the hour. The Diamondbacks are underway. Definitely have that for you tomorrow, breaking everything down from Zach Gallen versus Paul Skeens. But right now it is the leftovers, all of the stories that we did not get to throughout the course of the program. And producer Evan is the one who has them all. So take it away, my friend.
Okay, so do you know what the Football Power Index is, or the FPI?
Oh, the ESPN's FPI. I did see this story today. I did not click on it. I did not click on it, but I did see that the FPI was released today.
Yes, so the FPI did their power rankings, or however they do it. And essentially, it's a ratings projection model used to predict team based on strength of schedule, travel, everything else under the sun. Not hard to know who first is. They went with the Super Bowl champions. Right after them.
Oh, really?
Is the Kansas City Chiefs.
Really? Surprised that those two teams were towards the top of the FPI.
But when you look at it, it's interesting to see where the Cardinals fall and who falls around them. The Cardinals, with a -1, fall at 20.
So they're 20th. Okay.
Some of the teams above them, 19 is the Dolphins, 18 the Cowboys, 17 Steelers, 16 Bears. A couple teams below them, 21 is the Seahawks, who we've talked about extensively on this podcast or on this show.
Okay, I was going to stop you and ask this question. Where are the NFC West teams on this list?
So, yep, let's go through it. So, first NFC West team we see at 10, that's going to be the Rams.
Okay.
Just below them at 11 is San Francisco.
So they have the Cardinals at third in the division.
Third at the division is the Cardinals at 20. At 21 is the Seattle Seahawks. But you're all within 10 spots.
Sure, but again, I like to look at these lists and not necessarily break down what the FPI is and the number and how they get there and the methodology.
I'm a huge nerd.
We don't need to do that. But I like to see where they stack up with the rest of the NFC West to see how these metrics view them in the division. And what this is saying is the Cardinals are the third best team in the division. And I'm just not, I don't know. I'm not there. I think they're better than the 49ers. I think they're a better football team.
We've both talked about that. I do too. I really, and maybe I'm more down on the Niners than most. And I think I probably am. I think most people would tell me, okay, I'm being a little bit of a hater on the Niners.
And I'm a complete hater. I'm the hater on the Seahawks.
But I just don't think they're like, what do the Niners have that scares me on paper? Other than Christian McCaffrey, who, let's face it, is he ever going to be the same?
That's why I think the Cardinals are the second best team in the division.
And it's not a knock on McCaffrey. It's just he touched the ball, it felt like every play for 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Eventually, that's just going to wear you down.
You're just going to run out of just energy to do that. Yeah.
Okay, so that was the first one. Interesting to see where the Cardinals fall there. I think you did a good job there of asking where the other teams in the division. Like I said, I think Rams at 10 is fair. Niners too high at 11. Cardinals all the way at 20 is pretty shocking. Staying in the NFL, I read this interesting story this morning. I was kind of scrolling on my phone as I was laying in bed.
Was it the latest ESPN MLB mock draft?
No.
It has the Diamondbacks taking a high school center fielder?
No, because I don't know any of the players in the MLB draft that are in high school, so I stay away from that.
I was just trolling.
But no, this was a story on Fox, actually, that called Tyler Shuck's opportunity in New Orleans a once-in-a-lifetime dream for a quarterback. And I was like, well, why? Because what do they have talent-wise? But it made an interesting opportunity, or it made an interesting point of the opportunity that he's going to get right away. From the minute he walks into camp, there's no competition. There's no veteran. He's the guy. From the minute he gets there as a second-round pick.
Okay.
And it just talked about how many times have you had a day 2 pick or a day 3 pick walk into a room and be a guy. And it's an interesting way of looking at it. I don't think it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity because of they have no talent. But it was an interesting point that this is the first time in the modern draft era that we've seen a quarterback get drafted in day 2 and walk into a room with the keys.
I'm thinking of some other day 2 quarterbacks that did well right away. And there's one name that immediately comes to mind, but there was a veteran in the room that he had to beat out.
The only one that came to mind when I was reading this was Prescott, but that's only because Romo got hurt.
Well, and Russell Wilson in Seattle.
They
did have Matt Flynn. They paid him all that money.
But they signed Matt Flynn to a big contract and he beat him out.
But it didn't even matter. They like Russ right away. They were like, oh, like Russ is the guy. He's much better than Matt Flynn.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't love phrasing it as a once in a lifetime opportunity, but
that's a stretch, but I do think it was an interesting article.
How about this? It's unique.
So unique.
Very rarely do you take a day 2 quarterback, not a day 1 quarterback, a day 2 quarterback, and that's your starter. There isn't a competition. They're kind of rolling out the red carpet for him. I will call it unique. It's not a very good opportunity. That team isn't very good. They're going to struggle. But yes, it is a decent opportunity.
They stink.
They're not.
They're so bad.
They're not good.
I really hope it works out for Kellen Moore, but I have to ask the question. Like, that's the job you left for?
There's only 32 of them, man.
I know, but Ben Johnson waited a year.
Sure, but you can be one of these other coordinators. For every Ben Johnson, there's a bunch of coordinators who wait too long.
Yeah.
And they mistime the market. They mistime their opportunity. And they wait and they wait and they wait to try to land the perfect job, the perfect gig, the perfect situation. And then you know who you end up being? You're Josh McDaniels. You're Matt Patricia.
I mean, those are crazy.
Like
they just stunk.
But Josh McDaniels waited and waited and waited. And then you know what? It was Denver. Denver's the spot. Denver. How'd it work out?
Well, I mean, he was a bad head coach.
But the point I'm making is Josh McDaniels skipped interviews and opportunities because he wanted to wait for what he thought was the perfect chance. And he thought Denver was the perfect chance. It was not, because he was not. He was not a good coach, at least a head coach. So you may look at Kellen Moore going to New Orleans and say, dude, what are you doing? But how many chances is he going to get?
Yeah. How many chances do you get if you go 0-16 in New Orleans, which is a real possibility?
They will not go 0-16.
Or 0-17.
They will not go 0-17.
No, and I'm not saying they will.
They will win. I don't have their schedule directly up in front of me.
They'll win a division.
They will win. By the way, in case you're keeping track, it is 1-0 Pittsburgh in the top of the second, and they've got 2 men on, nobody out.
I wasn't.
Sorry.
And I just
2 men on, 1 out.
off the game.
Yeah.
And then came back over here. So I'll look at it again. Anyway, interesting story. So we talked about this in Buy or Sell the other day. Derek Skubal went all 9 innings. Since then, he has been talking out to the media saying that pitching in Major League Baseball needs that pendulum that has swung so far towards the bullpen needs to come back the other way, and starters need to go long, 8, 9 long starts again. And I think it's an interesting point. I think he's just a different breed. I don't think everybody can do that.
No, absolutely not. Skeens can do it. Skubal can do it. I think Yamamoto's close to being able to do it.
Wheeler
Wheeler can certainly do it.
I would love to see Kodai get a chance to go deep.
I think Max Fried can do it. I think Garrett Cole, when healthy, can do it. I mean, there are guys, but it's 20 to 25 pitchers at most, and every team's got 5 starters. That's 150 starters. I don't even think a third of the starters can do it.
You ever think Strider will get the chance to go deep?
Again? Yeah, you have to manage the injuries, though.
Injuries.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're automatically going to be like geared against the idea of letting him go deep when his pitch count is above 90. You're going to already start, the wheels will be turning to get guys up and ready to go in the bullpen. So, by the way, I want to leave you with this. When Tommy Pham hit the infield single last night, the Diamondbacks, after that hit, 91% chance to win the baseball game.
Where'd you find that?
I'm just looking at the win probability chart because that's how I wanted to end the show today. That's going to do it. We're done. We're out of here. Wednesday edition of the books. Go enjoy the baseball. Hopefully it's a victory. Either way, we'll be here to break it all down tomorrow. Jim Rome is coming up next. Everybody, great rest of your Wednesday. We'll talk to you tomorrow. See ya!